Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is recovering a little bit. I think when I made the last video, we were just breaking through the 78.6 FIB level here at 93,650. Can't remember exactly, but I think so. And the market did not break below. I mean, there was a brief break, but it's not a sustained break of support. So the scenarios are still valid. I will take you through the scenarios and tell you which one I believe is most likely at the moment, but that might change depending on how this rally now unfolds. So the yellow scenario is still the most bullish one. It is valid, but it for sure has become less likely due to the very sharp pullback, which is more like a 5-wave move up and not a 3-wave pullback. Sorry, a 5-wave move down and not a 3-wave move down. If it's a 5-wave move down, it indicates the trend wants to go down, right? Or the trend is down instead of it's just a corrective pullback in a larger uptrend. So anyway, we're holding support, and the red line is the invalidation point of the yellow scenario. Yellow is basically larger correction finished here on the 30th of December, 5 waves up, corrective pullback, which however looks more like a 5-wave move. That can sometimes be the case. So the problem is it looks like 5 waves. It looks quite impulsive to the downside, and we've briefly broken support, but not sustained below. So it technically still has a chance, okay? It needs a bit of a miracle there. And from here, if the market now forms a 5-wave move up, and especially if it breaks above resistance at 100,520, well, that could be a third wave. I was already looking for, and it could be, by the way, take us to new all-time highs. That's the relevance of the current 1-2 setup, right? So if it goes to all-time highs from here, it's definitely possible. I mean, yeah, it's possible, you know. If anybody wants to trade that, I mean, the invalidation point is clear. It's where the red line is positioned at 91,375. Definitely good reward to risk ratio. Just from a probability standpoint, this is quite a sharp pullback that I would say makes it more likely that support will break. We at least should be prepared for that. That takes us to the white scenario, which is a larger A, B, C correction. And this 4th wave that in the yellow scenario already bottomed is still unfolding in the white count. And in this scenario, we are looking for a nicely defined 5-wave move to the downside, which could take the price towards 81K roughly, yeah? 80, 81K, 82K. This will depend on how high the corrective bounce is now. This wave 2, which is now possibly unfolding in the white scenario, a corrective bounce, after we had a wave 1 to the downside that finally completed. I guess so. That's what I'm assuming right now. This wave 2 was already due a little earlier, and it's definitely overdue, okay? But it's good to see some movement to the upside. And this structure is now important because at the moment this looks like the ABC structure that we were waiting for. If it turns into 5 waves, by all means, it might be the more bullish wave 3. Definitely open to that. But for now, I'm tracking this as a corrective bounce. There is a blue target area that should be reached next between 96,260 and 97,885. It could go above that. That's just an initial target area. Really, what is more important, it's here, 100,520. But there's a long way. Well, it can happen in a day, can't it? But you know what I mean. You know, it's first of all, we track a corrective bounce. The yellow scenario, due to the impulsive pullback, needs to prove itself. The blue count is sort of an alternative I added, which, you know, I think is not playing out. It would have become more likely, and it still is possible, but let's assume it breaks down very directly, right? Without a healthy wave 2, then it could be that it's somehow forming this move down in a very direct way. And then we would pay attention to this area here around 87,500. And while it looks a bit more directly bearish in the near term, it would actually be not that bearish because the C wave is going to do it in one go instead of a more complex, nicely defined 5-wave move down, okay? Because if the wave 1 is already that long, then yeah, as I said, it could take us down to 82K. Whereas sometimes microstructures take the very direct path, with only very small microstructures, which are difficult to identify, maybe even extensions. And then we talk about this like a 9-wave pattern, for example, which is basically made up of extensions. Then this could take us down directly, right? This is basically just something to keep in mind in case it breaks down very directly. But now that we see a bit of a bounce, I see this now as a wave 2 corrective bounce. The targets are on the chart and the resistance area as well. And I'm definitely watching, very closely now this structure for any indications whether this is now the yellow bullish pathway or the yellow bullish pathway or the corrective bounce, essentially, right? It's good to see it. It was due a little earlier, but better late than never. I'll keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.